welcome back. This is BTEC Construction, and today we are going to be looking at weather resistance. Quite often it's something we don't think about. We come home, we open our front door, we go and sit down, we put our TV on, and we forget that the house is contained in a way that it keeps the weather out. Now, weather resistance can take a form of many different things. It's certainly to keep the wind and the rain out, and it's certainly to keep the cold out, but also to keep the warmth in at the same time. There's probably many things a part of a house that you've probably not looked at in great detail, thinking, well, that really doesn't concern me. But if them items were missing from your house, the function of your house would be very much different. If you had lots and lots of damp upstairs in your bedroom walls, it might be because your gutters that are connected to your fascia board might have a crack or might have a leak, and them gutters could be pouring water down your fascia boards, which will lip underneath your house, and that basically just soffit, and that would mean that your house and the weather will be allowing the rain into your house, and the weathering will be affecting your house. Have you ever had it where it's frosty cold outside and you put your hand next to the edge of your window and you can feel a slight draft coming in from there? There are many things that you can do to help to remove that draft. You might be able to get some foam sealant that you put around the edge of the windows, and that just simply stops the heat from escaping. The more things that you do to stop the heat from escaping, the lower your electricity bill, the better your house feels, the more weather tight it feels, and then the more at home it feels when you get in there. Especially around the outside of the windows. When you stand outside of your house looking at your front windows, quite often weathering can happen is when double glazed windows have been fitted in and there could be a gap around the outside where the air and the wind and the rain could seep inside, and it could make things especially damp or cold inside your house. So you can use sealant to go all the way around the edge of your windows. Now, this is the same stuff that you would put around your bath, but obviously if you're putting sealant around the edge of your bath, one of the first things you'd always do, this is a tip of the trade, you'd always fill your bath 3/4 full of water. Then you put the sealant on, you allow the sealant to harden because that mirror images a person being in the bath. Now, what happens when the wind and rain gets into your house? It can certainly cause damp, it can lower the value of the property, it can raise your U value, which means that your house is not warm, and it means that you feel cold all the time. So there are a couple of things you can do. We've mentioned about inputting sealants, we've mentioned about your fascia boards that go at the front of your house where your gutters are fastened onto the fascia boards. That is somewhere where you can make sure that that material is protected and painted. Also, at the edge of your house that overhangs, you've got a little bit that overhangs your house, that little bit that underneath there, that is called the soffits. That is a bit where you can stop the wind and the rain from going underneath your house. So painting these items is always really, really important. One of the things as well that will help you for the weather is to do with your window. Now, we know above the window we've got the lintel. Then we have the wall opening, which is the window. And then at the bottom of the window, the rain will come down and then it'll hit the window sill. You may have thought of this, but the window sill is absolutely brilliant for the function that allows the water to pour away from the house, and it makes sure that it doesn't get into the edges and the gaps. Now, finally, for weathering, one of the things that you can certainly do for weather resistance is the pointing of your bricks. You put one brick down, you put the next brick on top of it, and that gap in between that mortar is where you can use different tools to scrape it to create different effects. It'll be flush if it goes straight down, or a bucket handle where it could be curved, and that allows the water to run down the outside of your house. It runs past the bricks, it might go into the bucket handle curve that you've created in the mortar, and then it'll run down the outside of your house again. That little gap in between each brick, that little gap in the middle, that mortar, depends how you curve and shape it. That is called pointing. Have a look, Google pointing on bricks, because that is another feature of weather resistance. Okay, good luck and have a look at weather resistance.